Let's jump onto the phone. 617-830-4750 is the number. We're going to go to our first caller today from the 914 area code. Caller, tell us who you are and jump right in here.
Hey, David. It's a pleasure to be on with you again. My name is Dylan Rogers from Bucknell University.
Great.
I'm calling in regarding something a little bit different than last week. This week I'm calling in regarding, are we seeing the death of the political moderate in the culture war, as some like to call it? The reason I bring up this question is because I've noticed that on a lot of right-wing news outlets, I tend to watch on both sides of the spectrum, we're seeing more and more, I guess, over-the-top content that seems to be sensationalizing the left. Examples include what's wrong with the left, what is fake news, the transgender fad, women try manspreading. And it seems a little bit ridiculous, as if they're trying to cater to a more extreme audience. And I've seen it on some of the more left-wing media outlets as well. So as someone who's left-leaning but lies somewhere more in the middle, I wanted to see what your opinion on this was.
Well, there's two things going on, right? Number one is that from a media perspective, there's very little advantage to being a moderate, because if you are setting up a discussion about whatever issue, assuming you are going to have divergent views, it's way more compelling from a ratings perspective to have wildly divergent views versus a moderate and a right-winger. You're just going to have a left-winger and a right-winger. And the more divergent those views are from a corporate media ratings perspective, that's going to be more interesting. But also from a legislative perspective, there's not that much of a benefit to being a moderate, and the moderate views are being crowded out. And Obamacare is sort of a perfect example, because President Obama went in with, I'd sort of like to have a public option, maybe, if it's okay with you guys. The right-wingers came in with outrageous right-wing position, and we ended up with Obamacare, which is pretty damn right-wing. There's no advantage to that. President Obama, as I've said before, should have come in with Medicare for all is my position. Let's now negotiate from that. Now, it could have led to Obamacare never being done, but the bigger picture is there's very little advantage. If we think about this as a sort of prisoner's dilemma game theory situation, there's very little advantage to coming in with a moderate perspective, both legislatively and on media. So yeah, your observation's 100% right, Dylan.
Thank you so much for having me on.
All right.
I guess what concerns me a little bit more, though, is the dangers of this.
Yeah, well, the dangers are undeniable. I mean, the dangers are that you have increasingly polarized goalposts in terms of what counts as a position on any particular issue, and you have a whole generation of people at this point who have only been paying attention to politics in the era of cable news, who might not even understand that there are, on some issues, not all, but on some issues, moderate solutions. So it's a problem. Dylan, thank you. Appreciate the call. We're going to move on. Always great to hear from you.